Good morning, everybody. Josh Rugger here in studio with a little bit of drumming this morning to maybe wake you up if you hadn't had your morning cup of coffee. We had Papa Rock in the house earlier this morning. He brought this drum here. I'm getting my practice in right now, maybe simulating some thunderstorms as we go throughout the overnight hours tonight to tomorrow morning. But hey, I'll tell you what, I wanted to provide this update real quick to keep things serious here on the strong thunderstorm potential tonight. Very similar to what we saw yesterday in a lot of locations. So I do think the River Valley is going to be the favorite area for strong to severe thunderstorms later on tonight. So let's get right to it. I'm going to ignore all my band lessons that I just now got on there. I know, right, Jeremy? I'm trying out band practice right now, but let's get to the graphics right now. Let's show you a nice scene from our Mountain Magazine WeatherBug Network camera. I'll tell you what, it's nice to have this camera back as well because we will need it later on tonight and to tomorrow morning as those showers and storms move through northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Right now, temperatures generally in the lower to middle 80s, though you notice in far northwest Arkansas and Rogers and Cassville, we're still in the middle to upper 70s. That is because the cold front has sagged off to the south and east. A little bit farther south right now, the cooler temperatures are lagging behind, and that's why temps are a little bit cooler in far northwest Arkansas. But that stationary front just made it through the Boston Mountains. That's allowing for some lower humidity to spill in right now. Maybe it's a little bit farther south, but it hasn't moved much since yesterday, and that's why temperatures are still pretty warm as you step out the door. But notice those rain chances increasing overnight tonight. Right now, we've got a 60% chance of storms. I didn't increase the rain chances anymore this morning. The models are still a little bit all over the place in terms of the timing of the system, as well as how much rain we're actually going to see in some locations. But I do feel pretty confident most areas, at least along and west of I-49, are going to see rain in some form or fashion. But in terms of the severe weather potential, that really remains unchanged compared to what we had yesterday. In fact, if I make this full, it shrunk a little bit. So earlier on, the update that we had around 7 o'clock, the severe weather risk was extended all the way out to the I-49 corridor. Now it's been shrunk even more. And I talked about that this morning on the shows. I said, if we're going to have an update, it's probably going to be a decrease in terms of the severe weather potential, especially along the Interstate 40 corridor. So we still got that level 1 out of 5, marginal risk of severe weather for far western portions of the weather coverage area. Still got that general thunderstorm risk over northwest Arkansas as well. And we'll certainly take the rain without the severe weather potential all day long. But definitely, Darlene, do need some rain. I'll tell you what, I've got to check out the drought monitor. We'll look at that in just a few moments. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of changes to that, especially in far southern portions of our weather coverage area in the River Valley. But right now, the drought situation does need to improve a little bit, especially along in south of Interstate 40, where we do have some burn bans in effect at this time. But timing everything out on Future Track, this is the latest update from the graph model. Now, the graph and the HRRR are pretty far apart in terms of the timing, which it's hard to believe because the graph is usually the fast one. This model typically brings things in too fast, too early. I think the HRRR might be a little bit too early right now. I think the graph has a pretty good idea of when these thunderstorms are going to develop, but you could see taking off right around 5 to 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, you're heading out and about, going to work tomorrow, work or school. If these storms do arrive at 5, 6 o'clock, make sure you're either leaving early or taking it nice and easy on those roadways because these storms are going to be packing some heavy rainfall, could have some ponding on the back roads as well as the interstates and highways. So just make sure you're staying weather aware. I do think the strongest storms will be south of Interstate 40. So Sebastian, Scott, Logan, Johnson counties, those areas are going to be the favorite spot for stronger thunderstorms. But you notice that rain really moving out by the time we get to 8, 9 o'clock. And I do buy that. Some of the models want to keep the storms around during the afternoon. That remains to be seen. It's really going to have to pick up some energy behind the front in order to do that. I think most of the activity will be out by the early afternoon hours, but still can't rule out a storm or two in portions of the River Valley. So we'll watch those trends very closely. Again, it's not going to be a widespread severe weather outbreak that we're talking about here, but still something that's going to wake you up probably early tomorrow morning and something that we'll have to watch very closely. In fact, let's look at the latest HRRR as well. I was just talking about the differences between the timing between the two models. Let's take a look at the HRRR. So I'm going to pull that up right now. Stand by there as it takes a little while to load. Here's the HRRR model I'm interested to see if it has slowed down maybe a little bit. So it has. So now the graph and the HRRR are lining up a little bit better in terms of the timing, which I do buy this scenario where these storms come in the early morning hours Friday. I don't think they're going to be coming in before midnight, but you can see those storms. Again, some small hail producers, maybe some downburst winds. That is something that we're going to have to watch very closely. I know the severe weather potential has shrunk a little bit compared to what we had this morning. But I do think these storms could have some small hail as well as gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour. And that marginal risk, it could be a little bit greater in terms of those wind speeds. So we'll watch those trends very closely. But you can see those thunderstorms continuing throughout the early morning hours. And again, this model wants to keep it hanging around during the afternoon. We'll see if that happens. Certainly it will be a whole lot cooler if that's the case. But all that activity should be out by the evening, though. Look at that. That's why I can't take out the rain chances completely for early Saturday morning, especially in far southern portions of the River Valley. So where is this all coming from? Well, and why are we seeing storms tomorrow morning and not this morning? Well, the reason is because this morning, even though we have the system close by, we don't really have enough forcing for thunderstorms to develop. So let's look at water vapor right now. Let's see if we can find that short wave that's going to be moving in. I bet you it's coming in. There it is, off the Rocky Mountains. This is how we get that northwest flow thunderstorm development. It's going to be swinging towards our area as we move throughout the nighttime hours, and that's going to allow for those thunderstorms to fire off, even though we've got some dry air in place on the northern end of the stationary front. So definitely interesting to watch everything unfold on water vapor. This is how you get your day forecasting down. This is how you look out the window the day of the event. Models, of course, are getting into better agreement, but the best way to forecast is literally looking out the window, and that's what high resolution water vapor does. So let me look at the comments here. I know some folks may be commenting. Let's go back to the severe weather risk. If you guys have any questions or comments, I'll be more than happy to answer those. Beautiful start to the day from Jeff. Great evening for some NFL football. Here's my question to the audience out there. Kansas City or Detroit? Who's winning tonight? I've got Kansas City winning by 7, but I think it's going to be a really good game. Detroit's got a team this year, and I think Detroit is going to make the playoffs. You heard it here first. I think Detroit will make the playoffs. I think they've got the team to do it. Their defense is going to be improved. Obviously, we know they got the offensive weapons, but I think this is the year they break through. And I'm going to take it a step further. Detroit wins a playoff game this year. The NFC's weak. This is Detroit's year. I know the Eagles are going to be really good, but I think Detroit wins their division. I think they win a game today. Yeah, absolutely, Jeremy. Live early. Get in here at 2:30 a.m. Still rocking and rolling. No coffee, by the way, either. I don't drink that stuff. Autumn says, bring on the storms. Let's bring them on. As long as they don't have severe weather potential, let's get all the rain that we can handle. Lisa, good morning. Have a great day. Same to you, Lisa. Hope you're doing well out there. Obviously, going to be nice this afternoon. If you got those outdoor activities planned, even though things will be hot and toasty, the lower humidity certainly does make a big difference. That is for sure. Rain dance here from Michelle. Michelle, I'll do the rain dance with you. I'll go. So we can dance to that. But we could certainly take the rain all day long here in Northwest Arkansas. I know we're hoping for it in a lot of locations. We need it right now. And I'm going to show you what's going to go down next week after I get through all these comments, because we got more rain on the way. However, that rain could also bring some severe weather potential. And this could be a little bit more widespread than what we're seeing tonight. Hey, what's going on, man? Watching all the way from Greensboro, North Carolina. Thank you so much for watching us. And yeah, you are in a thunderstorm risk over there. I got to go check that out right now. We can look at that actually. Let's zoom out here. I'm gonna hide your comment. But let's check that out here and take a look at the severe weather potential. Oh yeah, got that marginal risk of severe weather over in Greensboro. Yeah, right now it could be increased. We'll watch it very closely. But definitely got that level 1 out of 5 marginal risk in your neck of the woods today. I'm interested. Let's look at the probabilities here. So here's the wind, damaging winds, no hail. And is there any tornado potential? No tornado potential according to this. It's tough to get the tornado potential at this time of the year, but that may change next week. And we'll talk about that in just a few moments. So definitely looking like it could be a severe weather day there. How long do you think the cool down will last? Okay, Kat, good question. And I've got the blue blobs on the map for you right now. So here it is. This is the latest 6 to 10 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. I'm going to move my face out of the way here. We're right in the bullseye of the probabilities for colder than normal temperatures. And you know what? We can go ahead and get rid of this. And I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to put likely colder than normal. I think we're going to see cooler than normal temperatures for an extended period of time in Northwest Arkansas because if you look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, boom, we're also in that region. So first day of fall coming up September 22nd. I'm telling you what, I think we're going to see colder than normal temperatures last for an extended period of time. We will certainly take that all day long. But Kat, let's give a round of applause for the Climate Prediction Center putting those blue blobs right over NWA. And hopefully that can last for a good while. Last stand for summer today, Mitchell. Look, I don't want to go out on a limb and say yes, but the days of 90-degree temperatures may be behind us. I know that's bold. I know certainly for Northwest Arkansas today could be the last day of 90-degree heat. River Valley, I don't want to say yes yet, but we're getting close. We are almost there to where we're not going to have to worry about 90s anymore at the least. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say Northwest Arkansas, along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. Today and tomorrow is the last day of pretty intense heat. And tomorrow there might be the possibility of us not having any heat at all with all the cloud cover in place, but definitely today. So this might be the last stand for summertime, Mitchell. No tornado for us. That is correct. But we'll watch next week very closely. I'm going to talk about that in just a few moments. Let me go back to the severe weather potential for Northwest Arkansas. Again, it has shrunk quite a bit. I do agree with that. I think we're going to see that continue to decrease, but still got to watch the small hail and gusty wind potential, even in that non-severe thunderstorm risk area. Time for twilight. Love the cold weather. Yes, we will take it all day long, and I am sure by the time we get to late December, early January, we're going to be like, yeah, I can't wait for the heat. That's just the ebb and flow of Northwest Arkansas weather. You got to love it here in NWA. Daniel, I'll be glad when DirecTV NBC is back on TV. Daniel, I'm right there with you, buddy. And I hope things can improve there and we can get you guys back on air. That's why I always post the full forecast every day as well during the morning hours, because I know a lot of folks have DirecTV. Want to make sure you get the full weather forecast every single day. And I'll do some more Facebook Lives as well if necessary. I know I need to be doing more of that during the morning hours. But again, you can find those full weather forecasts on the KNWA Facebook account. You can also follow me on Facebook, Joshua Rugger Weather, as well as Rugs WX on Twitter. I'll continue to post those updates every single day until DirecTV and Nexstar work things out there. Blue blobs of happiness here, says Kat. Yep, that's exactly what it is. It puts a smile on my face as well. Let's see here. Jacob, just tuning in. What's the latest severe weather risk? Right there. And can it get to 90 degrees in Fayetteville in November? It can. It can get to 90 degrees in November at Drake Field. In fact, I can pull up some data here. I don't know when the last day on record is for 90-degree heat. I would assume it's going to be sometime in November. I'd be very surprised if it was in December. But that's something I'm going to look into right now, actually, while we're going into it. Nikita says they are going for Kansas City NFL football. KC looking to go back-to-back this year. Ooh. Now I might have to give my NFL predictions just in general and have it on record. So, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it right now. And you guys could do this as well in the comments as well. But I'm going to go ahead and say for the AFC, I'm going to say the Bengals are the team that's going to make it in to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. NFC, I got to go with the Eagles again. I think it's going to be Bengals, Eagles. I think the Eagles have a pretty big gap between the other teams in the NFC right now. Obviously, you got to watch out for Detroit, but like Tampa Bay, they're mid now without Tom Brady. Obviously, they struggled last year. I mean, I don't see anybody challenging the Eagles out of the NFC. So I'm going to go Bengals versus Eagles for the Super Bowl. But Kansas City's going to be there as well. And I think they win tonight. I got Kansas City winning by 7, but it's going to be a good game on NBC. Of course, I'll be fast asleep getting some Z's in. I'm only going to watch if the Colts are playing. Oof, I don't even want to talk about them right now. But let's go ahead and look at Future Track once again here, just for the folks that might be joining in. You can see those thunderstorms developing right around 4 or 5 o'clock. The HRRR is on this train as well. The graph, I think, actually has a really good idea of what's going to go down. I had a good idea early this morning. That's why I used it on air. And now the HRRR is starting to go and agree with the graph as well. But you can see those thunderstorms continuing again. The River Valley is going to be the main focus for this rain as it pushes off to the south and east. But by the time we get to lunchtime tomorrow, all that activity will be out of the area. Jacob, I know you wanted to look into November. I do want to do this. I want to look towards next week as well here in Northwest Arkansas in the River Valley, because I think there's the potential for some pretty good severe weather here in NWA. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to look at the vorticity map. That's obviously looking at the pieces of energy that are swinging in to the area. So just stand by for a few moments. I'm going to try to pull that up here real quick. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to show that radar loop here on Future Track again. If you guys got any more questions, I'll look into that in just a minute. What about Rudy? Rudy, definitely keep an eye out tonight. Danita, I don't think these storms are going to be, this is not a widespread severe weather event with significant tornado potential. But Rudy definitely may get some stronger thunderstorms in our weather coverage area. So just keep an eye out on the radar early tomorrow morning. If you're going anywhere tomorrow morning, I will leave a few minutes earlier than what you typically do, just because those thunderstorms may be packing a punch. What will be a good day to turn off the air conditioner and open the windows up? Good question, Daniel. You never know with Northwest Arkansas, right? Just when you think summer's over with, that's when it pops at you again. That's when it beats that drum again. So I would say sometimes in November, Daniel, sometime in November is when we're going to start seeing that air conditioner go off and we can open those windows up permanently. October can still have some warm spells, though, for sure. Okay, so in terms of the severe weather potential next week, the models, of course, are all over the place. Now, if I were to pinpoint a day, I would probably say Tuesday has the best chance for widespread severe weather potential. But you notice on Monday, showers and thunderstorms developing. Now, one thing I want to see here, obviously those temperatures are going to cool off quite a bit as we go into next week. Is the instability going to be in place? That's something that we've got to watch very closely. But you can see Tuesday afternoon, some pretty good thunderstorms developing in Northwest Arkansas. Now, we can look at that instability. WSI, our graphic system, has the ability to look at that. So if we go to the European model, we can check that out. I did make a new graphic here that shows a significant tornado potential, but obviously it's not going to go out too far, and I don't think it's going to do that. It's going to have to load everything up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen here so that I could show you guys what we're working with in terms of instability next week. I know we're going to start geeking out a little bit here, but that's what we do. That's why I like these weather lives, because we can geek out a little bit and show everything off. So Jacob, I'm talking about that right now. So I hope you're still on, because we're about to dive into the severe weather potential next week. So just stand by for a few moments. I'm going to pull up that share screen mode. Now, this particular model that we're looking at right now, it's already loaded up. It's not showing any instability next week, which, it's going to go back and forth on that, but that would be fantastic. That would limit the severe weather potential quite a bit. But we will have some instability tonight that could cause some strong to severe thunderstorms. So let me share the screen now. Let me pull that up. I'm going to go into present mode, share screen, and pull that up. That should be full screen as well. I'm going to move myself out of the way here so that you guys can see everything. And let's dive into everything here. Oh, hold on just a second. Let me log in here. Okay. So first we're going to look at the GFS model. one of those long-range models that we typically look at here. And we're going to go into a closer view here. And first, we're going to look at the instability. What kind of instability do we have to work with the system? So if we go to our severe weather and surface-based instability, let's see if any of that surges northward with the latest computer model. So obviously, we got a little bit of that overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. But does the instability return in time for Monday? This particular model says no. So that would be great. That would limit the severe weather potential. And then we would focus more on heavy rainfall rather than severe weather. All that instability stays to the south. Now, the piece of energy that's moving in is pretty strong. We've been looking at that very closely. It's going to be coming off the Rockies, but the models are going to have a tough time figuring things out. So you can see that piece of energy moving in Monday night into Tuesday morning. Right there's another piece that comes in towards the river valley, again, taking that southern track. And in order to kind of get a better view of that, we're going to go back to a national view here and take a look at it. So here's that piece of energy rolling in. So again, this severe weather risk, it's not impressive right now, but that can certainly change. It did look a little bit better yesterday, and obviously this is a GFS model, so it's going to go back and forth on the setup and everything. But you can see that piece of energy moving in from the desert southwest Monday to Tuesday. If anything, we are going to get some good rainfall, and we'll definitely take that all day long because we need it right now desperately. So we'll watch those trends very closely and let you know about the latest there. But the European model probably has got a very similar setup, I would assume. We got to go back one scan here. But it's backing off on significant severe weather potential next week. It's going to be more of a heavy rainfall event. You could see that piece of energy coming in right there towards the tail end of this computer model. So I know we're geeking out right now, but this is something to keep on your radar for next week because I know a lot of folks are asking, hey, when are we going to have some more significant rainfall? When is that all going to set up? So we'll watch it very closely and let you know. But again, we'll have some instability tonight, as you can see from that map. And that's why we're going to be watching that strong storm potential very closely. Large hail and damaging winds, once again, are going to be the main concerns. Again, Jacob, the AMP concert next Monday is something that, we probably will have to watch that very closely because that's going to be a little bit dicey if we have rainfall and thunderstorms that we're talking about there. But at this time, if you want a forecast for next week, we've got it for you right here. I'm going to move your comment out of the way, and I'm going to move myself out of the way. But you can see we've got a 60% chance of rain tonight. The cool down comes in Sunday night into Monday as that system pushes through. Right now, we have a 30% chance of showers and storms Monday for Northwest Arkansas, 40% for Tuesday. I think Tuesday is going to be the main day to watch for more heavy rain potential. River Valley, we've got 40% for both days. Temperatures will take a little bit longer to cool off. Highs will be in the upper 70s, so right around 80 degrees. Of course, Wednesday, we've also got that 20% chance of rain. Speaking of which, for that Razorback game, man, is it going to feel absolutely amazing. Temperatures will be in the 80s, and that's the muggy meter for the River Valley. But for Northwest Arkansas, if we go to that view here, you can see dew points are going to be in the middle to upper 50s as we go into Saturday and Sunday. So just cross that out. Instead of calling that the muggy meter, we're going to call that the crisp meter. It's going to be feeling crispy, fall-like at the Razorback game. Can't think of a better 3 o'clock kickoff than the weather that we're going to have Saturday afternoon. I don't think we're going to have any rain chances at all as well. So trying to think of anything else we could talk about here. I mean, I think we've covered everything. If you guys have any more questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. I know we probably lost a lot of folks when it came to geeking out about next week. Again, the severe weather potential next week doesn't look all that impressive looking at the latest model data, but obviously that can change. That's something to keep an eye on. I do have doubts about it with those temperatures cooling off so much. Just not going to have a lot of instability to work with. So we'll watch those trends very closely. One thing that I did want to look at, just now remembered, because I know people are probably wondering, what's the latest drought monitor? So I can look at that right now. Stand by for just a few moments, and I'm going to pull that up here. I don't think the drought monitor is going to have any significant changes compared to what we had last week, because we did get some rain in far northwest Arkansas. But let's take a look at it right now. So this is the latest drought monitor. So there is a little bit of that abnormally dry condition starting to show up in LaFleur County, maybe a little bit of D1 moderate drought as well in far southwest LaFleur County. But in southwest Missouri, still got that abnormally dry weather. Remember, this is taken every Tuesday morning, so I don't know if that's taken into account the rain that we got yesterday. Actually, it's not taken into account the rain yesterday. So this map is released every Thursday, but the data is collected Tuesday afternoon. So we'll see if that improves next week. But all that rain that we're going to see overnight tonight into tomorrow, that's going to help keep us from having too many concerns about the drought situation as we go into next week. But still something to watch very closely. I know we got a couple of new comments here. Let me check them out. Jacob, is there a day 4+ outlook yet? Nope. No day 4 outlined, and that kind of shows you that maybe the severe weather potential is not that great as we go into next week. But again, things can change, and we're pretty far out. I wouldn't be surprised if the heavy rain potential starts going up as we move into the Monday, Tuesday time frame. Do you think our weather radio will be going off Friday morning? Daniel, certainly a possibility. It won't be for tornado warnings. I don't think we're going to be looking at any potential for that. But severe thunderstorms certainly possible, especially west of I-49. I think the severe weather risk overall is very low over the entire forecast area. Alexis in Western Grove. What about the Western Grove area? So, Alexis, good news. Severe weather risk is pretty low for Western Grove. I'm going to zoom in on you here over in Boone and Newton County. But there you are. You're in a general thunderstorm risk area. So you could still see some strong storms. May get a little loud early tomorrow morning, but I think the severe weather potential is very, very low in your area. So I think you're going to be good tomorrow morning. If you're leaving somewhere right around 6, 7 o'clock, make sure you're leaving just a little bit early so that you can give yourself plenty of time to get to where you're going and you can make it on time and safely. But again, the marginal risk of severe weather is clipping western portions of our weather coverage area. And the main concern is going to be damaging winds as well as large hail, which the large hail potential is really not that great either. But no tornado risk tomorrow. Never want to say 0%, but the tornado risk is very, 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 very low. If I were to put a number on it, like 0.001% right now for tornado potential. So non-zero for the tornado risk, our favorite saying here in the Weather Lab. All right. If anybody's got any more questions, go ahead and mention them. Matthew, here's a good question. A lot of lightning, or are you thinking lower than the other day? That is a good question, Matthew. These storms will be pretty electrified, I think. We've got a lot of mid-level instability. I don't know compared to what we saw yesterday. I'll say equal to at least. I don't think it's going to be as impressive as what we saw. Man, I mean, those lightning strikes were very impressive yesterday. I don't think it's going to be quite as impressive with this system. But still, could be a little bit of a lightning show early tomorrow morning, especially in the River Valley. So we'll probably be watching our Fort Smith Public Library camera as well as Miss Laura's for those lightning shots. Good question, though, Matthew. In general, how far out or valid are the temperature predictions? So I think, Kat, you're referring to the Climate Prediction Center outlooks. They are generally really good. The Climate Prediction Center has a very good idea of what things are going on, and typically what they're looking at there is long-range data. Again, remember, those are not predictors, right, of how cold it's going to be, right? So if we go back to this map, right, and we look at the probabilities, I'm gonna move all this stuff out of the way so you can see that. Remember, this is not indicating that the temperature is going to be this, right? It's not going to be like 60 degrees outside. It's saying that the probability of below average temperatures are greater in northwest Arkansas than it is going to be for above average temperatures. So it's more favorable for cooler temperatures. So if the average high is, let's say, 84 degrees in Northwest Arkansas. Well, if it's 82 degrees, that's below average and the forecast verified, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Now, generally, when the colors are more blue or more red, you're probably talking about probably much cooler temperatures or much warmer temperatures. But don't look at this map and say, hey, oh, it's going to be 60 degrees outside. It'll probably be more in the 70s as we go into the middle part of next week, which is still fantastic and still feels very good. But these forecasts are generally very good. Of course, the farther you go out, the less accurate they're going to be. But the Climate Prediction Center does a pretty good job at identifying weather patterns. And I agree wholeheartedly with both of those outlooks. But that is a good question. And it's something to remember. That's why Dan changed these the wording on these. Instead of saying likely warmer than normal or possibly warmer than normal, or actually I think originally it just said warmer than normal and colder than normal. Now we've changed it to possibly and likely for both of those because that's what it is. It's a probability forecast. So that is a good question, and that is something that we'll be watching very closely as we go into the middle part of next week. But one more look at the 7-day, and then we'll wrap it up. I am very tired right now. I'm starting to run low on fuel, truthfully, and maybe I need to start, just banging the drum again. Just maybe I need to do that to wake myself up. Yeah. Leah, you want to come in here?
Yeah,
you want to
sure.
come say hi? Now, I'm gonna. Leah's here right now. Leah's here right now, and she is the best engineer in the business. That is for sure. She makes sure everything is running in tip-top shape. And what do you think about this weather?
I am ready for spooky season.
Ready for spooky season.
I'm ready to watch Twilight.
You're ready to watch Twilight. You're ready for pumpkin spice
Yes,
lattes
all
and
of it.
everything.
I'm ready for it.
Yes, and you know what? I think I've got some good news for you because guess what? There it is. Spooky season.
Love it.
Right there. Spooky season vibes, not only in Northwest Arkansas, but also in the River Valley. Check that out. Upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. So, you know what? We can do that. We can go ahead and go. We like to see it. We like to see it. Oh, and Robin, if you want to come into view here, he's also got the maracas here. We can just start. We can start a band here at KNWA. A little maraca and shaker vibes there. All right. Well, we had fun. I think it's good to go ahead and wrap things up. But again, Dan, Peyton, and Zach will all be here watching things overnight tonight. Again, thanks for putting up with my shenanigans. But again, strong thunderstorm potential later on tonight into tomorrow morning. Again, main time frame between about 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. I would say is the favorite time frame, and then those storms will be out, and we get to enjoy much cooler temperatures as we go into next week. All right, we're going to wrap things up. Hope everybody has a wonderful or terrific rest of your Thursday. Stay safe out there, everybody, and we'll see you next time.